these ladies gave their all. The Sue Birds of the world. I mean, we don't even talk about the.
You can go down the list.
But you can go down the list, and so that's my only point.
But
I'm hoping that you're able to understand that.
But Scott, you're saying, but Scott, it's disrespectful for you to say what have they built. There are little children right now, little girls at home hoping that they can play in what they call the WNBA, and the reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in this.
Isn't it because of the investors?
No, Scott, stop it.
It's not. I was in Dickie's arena.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we have to continue our coverage of the fallout from WNBA star Caitlin Clark going woke. Okay, she came out and said that, hey, I have white privilege. That's part of the reason I'm in the position I am right now. Not because of my game, not because of how hard I work, not because I'm a much better role model than the other WNBA players who have been very unsuccessful when it comes to building the brand of the league to be more friendly towards the masses. No. It's not any of that. It's because I'm white, right? It's because I'm white. I got white privilege. And the black lesbian women that built this league are the ones that deserve more credit. They deserve the credit. So, of course, she's got a whole lot of backlash from people like Megyn Kelly and others. And CNN is going to have a discussion over the backlash that Caitlin Clark is getting, and they're going to get triggered. The race hustlers on the panel are going to get triggered. They're going to lose it over Republican Scott Jennings telling the truth about the so-called black players building the WNBA. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Tonight, a completely predictable plot line. Conservatives are upset with an athlete for saying something that they don't like. Caitlin Clark, she is Time's Athlete of the Year, and she told the magazine that she benefited from white privilege on her way to fame in the WNBA. That's a league where most players are black. Podcaster Megyn Kelly heard that and lost it. She said, quote, she's on the knee, all but apologizing for being white and getting attention. Kelly wrote on X, the self-flagellation, the, oh, please pay attention to black players who are really the ones you want to celebrate. Condescending, fake, transparent, sad. Clark responded to those comments today. Listen.
I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, I try to just be real and authentic and, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Joining us at the table is CNN contributor Carrie Champion. She's the host of the Carrie Champion Show on Prime Video. She might also be our Caitlin Clark correspondent. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to get to Scott Jennings' sigh in just a moment. Yeah. But Carrie, what I don't understand about this, Caitlin Clark never asked to be this avatar of race, right? And basically that is what she is saying. I didn't ask for this. Why are you making me this person? And now people are mad about that?
Yeah.
Well, let's actually be clear. The only people that are making her an avatar of race are the black lesbians of the WNBA, okay, and the race hustlers of America, right? Because Caitlin Clark, nobody has a problem with her outside of the fact that she's white. So it's not white people that have a problem with her being white. It's the race hustlers and the black WNBA players. So let's be clear. It's not conservatives. It's not white people. It's not people who aren't obsessed with race that are making her a racial avatar. It's actually the left. Okay, it's people like Abby Phillip and Carrie Champion and Bakari Sellers. They're the ones that are actually making her an avatar of race. Let's be clear here.
It's really interesting because since she came into the league, we have to talk about the attention that she has received. She's a phenomenal player. I've never seen anybody shoot the ball the way she shoots the ball in the WNBA. I'm just being honest. She, early on in her collegiate career, reminded me of Steph Curry, and that's where all this attention came from. But before she entered a league that started in 1997, there were the Lisa Leslies and the Dawn Staleys and the Cheryl Swoops of it all who really built this league, and they weren't getting the attention because, let's face it, the league was built in a way in which it wasn't mainstream. And all she's simply saying is that I want to respect those who come before me. Now, conservatives do one of two things that I am so fascinated with, especially when it comes to her. Either they whine or they bully. So now it's time to do both. They're bullying her when she decides to just like a post about
This is the
Taylor
Taylor
Swift
Swift
post
post.
about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They
Endorsing
unfollow her.
voting.
Like saying go vote. And then they unfollow her in droves. And then she says, you know what? I am so grateful for all this money I make. I'm making more money than most of these women will ever see in their lifetime because I am a great player, but I'm also someone that they are using as their message person, that they are using me as a conduit to get their message out. And she says, no, I don't want any of that. I'm grateful. And hopefully I can shine some attention on Bakari because no one's paying attention to Bakari. And so I'm going to give Bakari some attention because you know what? Thank you for keeping this league alive, Bakari. Everything that you've done has really got to the point where I can be here and benefit in this moment. And Megyn Kelly saying she's on a knee apologizing because she's white, she's acknowledging the reverse DEI that no one wants to talk about. She has a privilege. She has been in this league for a year? And she makes more money than the people who built this league, and she understands there's a reason. Not because she shoots the ball well. Yes, that also helps, but there's another reason, Scott. There's a reason that says I'm white, and it's a privilege, and people love me, and I'm okay with that, but I want to also acknowledge everyone else. Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Well, a couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
Or
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about respecting people who built something, what did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean,
to
what did they
possibly-
build? What do you mean, what did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
They've
that
had a
doesn't make
business
money?
model that has allowed women who have never had a professional sport here in America, in the United States of America, to play. They've kept it alive as opposed to sending them overseas.
But that's just wrong. This is just so wrong. Career champion, again, these race hustlers, man, they just don't live in reality. And that's why I don't even understand what's the point of having conversations with these people. Career champion clearly does not understand that you do not get brownie points for being a league that loses money every single year and is subsidized by the NBA, right? Subsidized by men, okay? A whole nother league. Without the NBA, the WNBA doesn't exist. So Scott Jennings is correct to ask the question of, what have you built? You built a failed business. You haven't built anything because the WNBA cannot stand on its own 2 feet without the help of the NBA and other people subsidizing a league that, let's be honest, in a capitalist society should not exist, right? They're only in existence because people pity them, okay? That's the only reason that the WNBA exists, out of pity, not because they can actually stand on their own 2 feet. So if that's something to be proud of, honestly, I don't know what to tell you, right? If you're proud of building a league that loses $40 million a year, that has to be subsidized by other leagues, then hey, that's a you problem, right? Clearly, your standards aren't very high. But again, that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people who believe that they should get a pat on the back for being failures, right? Because that's what the WNBA has been up until this point. Even with Caitlin Clark, it's still a failure. And she is their best chance of making the league not a failure, but they're hell-bent. They're hell-bent on destroying it. They're hell-bent on making people hate them because they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be paid, but at the same time, they want to get all of the credit. They want to get all of the admiration. They want to get all of the glory, when the reality is that before Caitlin Clark, these women, they were just not that entertaining to watch. The league was not an exciting league. The players weren't very likable. The personalities were not the type of personalities that would attract families and a broader audience to watch the games. That's just the truth. But again, they just refuse to accept the truth. Career champion makes absolutely zero sense here. Out of one side of her mouth, she says, yeah, Caitlin Clark has done things that we've never seen before. I've never seen anybody shoot like her. But, that's not the reason why she's a superstar. The reason why she's a superstar, the reason why she's carrying the lead right now is because she's white, right? And it's like, well, you just said that you've never seen a player like her before. That in and of itself explains a vast majority of why is it that Caitlin Clark gets the attention that she gets. And we know this because she's not the only white player in the WNBA. There are other white players that have come before her that have not gotten nearly as much fame, glory, admiration as Caitlin Clark, because it's not her whiteness that explains her popularity. It is her game. That's it. It's her work ethic. It's the way she carries herself. But see, Caitlin Clark, I thought that she was smart enough to realize that, hey, let me not play politics. Let me stay mutual. But apparently not. She is essentially, I don't know, being bullied into going along with the woke agenda, talking about white privilege, this and all that. And it's like, okay, well, that's the type of talk that is going to turn off your core fan base. That's what it's going to do, because you got to understand, the WNBA is getting more popular because parents are taking their children. Parents are taking their daughters so that their daughters can have role models to look up to. Somebody like a Caitlin Clark. But that will change if Caitlin Clark comes out here and starts talking all woke, talking about, oh, I got white privilege, and then trying to spread that to young girls watching WNBA and looking up to her, right? She starts saying stuff like that. Parents gonna say, no, I don't want my daughter to be exposed to this woke ideology. And again, I thought that Caitlin Clark was smart enough to avoid all that, to just be neutral. But apparently not. Apparently not. So, you know, again, they're triggered by the truth. The truth is that these so-called black WNBA players, they didn't really build much of anything that's worth celebrating before Caitlin Clark. Let's keep it 100. They didn't really build much of anything. So, you know, I'm not saying that they're not great players. I'm not saying that, you know, they didn't make significant contributions to the league, but their contributions were not enough to make the league stand on its own 2 feet. That's the truth.
That's what she's built. That's what they've built.
This is the problem with the conversation about race in this country that we've never tackled. Because there are 2 things fundamentally wrong with what Scott said. The first is when you say things like my truth, right, and you just tune that out. My truth is just vastly different than yours. It's not just the truth. In fact, one of the things I would like to just help you understand is that the definition of white supremacy, do you know what the definition of white supremacy is? It's when you feel like equality is oppression. And for some reason, it gets so entangled because people just simply want equality, and you feel like that's taking away something from you. I'm not dare saying that anybody at this table is a white supremacist, but what I am trying to do is at least educate you on what the truth is. And so we both come from different, we want the same America for our children, but we come from different places. We don't necessarily want equality. Some of us just want equity, right? And all I'm saying about Caitlin Clark
That's a different statement.
All I'm saying about it's not a different statement. All I'm saying about Caitlin Clark is this. I have a bias against Caitlin Clark.
Yes,
just innately.
you have said it, yes.
And I wanted to be extremely clear because I'm a South Carolina Gamecock fan, and she took away one championship from us. But I also recognize that Caitlin Clark knows something that this is the second point. The first point was my truth. The second point is, Scott, you cannot denigrate. You cannot simply say that Dawn Staley and Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops and all these women who do something insanely better than all of us at this table did not build anything that you can't respect. Yet the league wasn't built in a way that would make money. That's not what it is.
That's not what it was for.
But these ladies gave their all. The Sue Birds of the world. I mean, we don't even talk about
You go down the list.
But you can go down the list. And so that's my...
So what was the league made for? What was the league made for? If it wasn't made to make money, what was the league made for? That's the question I would be asking, because all sports leagues are built to make money, right? Or at least to attempt to make money, right? Not all of them do, but at least the attempt is to make money because they can't survive without making money. Now, the WNBA, on the other hand, because they're being subsidized by the NBA, they have been able to survive. But the end goal, right, is to try to make money. They just have been unsuccessful at doing that. So I'm trying to figure out, are you admitting that the WNBA is just a subsidy project to give these women something to do, right? Is that what you're admitting? That it's not a serious thing? Because if you're admitting that it's not a serious venture, that it's designed to make money, then you're admitting that what they have built is not worth respecting. Because you only can respect a venture that is built to stand on its own 2 feet. I can't respect something that can't stand on its own 2 feet. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't understand why these people are so triggered by the truth, right? This is why they have to have my truth, because they can't accept the truth. These people that start coming out here and talk about my truth, they only say that because they can't accept the truth. The truth is that the league still sucks, okay? And it will continue to suck if they continue to go down this path. And Caitlin Clark is their best chance of not making the league suck, but they want to ruin it, right? They're hell-bent on ruining it unless they can have it their way, in which the black players are the superstars and they make all the money and everybody else takes a back seat. That's what they actually really want. That's what they want. And they would much rather live off subsidies with black players as the superstars, right, getting all the little fame and admiration that they would get without Caitlin Clark. They much rather have that than to stand on their own 2 feet and a white player is the face of the WNBA. That is the honest to God truth. But is anybody surprised that these so-called black women are totally fine with being subsidized their whole lives, right? Rather than, standing on their own, right? Is anybody surprised by that? Seems to be par for the course, okay?
Only point.
But
I'm
I
hoping that you're able to understand that.
But Scott, you're
that's-
saying, but
they're great
Scott,
basketball players.
but Scott, it's disrespectful for you to say what have they built. There
That's
are
my point.
little children right now, little girls at home hoping that they can play in what they call the WNBA. And the reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in
Dickies
this.
Arena.
And so, no, Scott, stop it. You stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickies Arena.
Who pays for it?
I was in Dickies
Stop it.
Arena. Let me just
Guys, one at a
tell you.
time.
I was in Dickies
Please, one
Arena.
at a
I was in
time.
Dickies Arena on Sunday because I travel, follow my Gamecocks basketball. Something fascinating happened.
Tell us.
Dickies Arena, TCU, right? Haley Van Lith. They averaged 2,000-3,000 people a game.
Yeah.
The Gamecocks came to town with Don Staley. You had 9,000 people in Dickies Arena. You know who benefits from that? The concession workers, the city,
Bring
etc.
it.
After the game, hundreds of people around there just to shake Don Staley's hand. What you have to understand, and we have to get out of this, is there's a level of empathy that we have to have and understanding that we have to have, and we have to just stop being so abrasive, caught in these social media moments when we're
Yes.
talking about issues of race.
This is exactly
That's my
what I was
only
about
ask.
to say.
All right, I'm done with this. Yeah, the delusion here is off the charts. These people refuse to accept reality. They refuse to accept the truth. Okay, they want to live in their own reality. They want to live in their truth, and I don't even understand the point of even having these conversations because they're a waste of time. But here's what I think: we're gonna see, right? We're gonna see if Caitlin Clark wants to embrace being woke, right? If she wants to start coming out here and talk about she got white privilege and saying that her fans being racist is not okay, basically acknowledging that her fans are racist, right? I mean, that's the whole point of what I'm saying is that when she comes out here and says that it's not okay for my fans to be racist, essentially she's saying that her fans are racist, right? If she wants to start calling the fans racist, if she capitulates to these woke women in the WNBA, we're going to see how fast this popularity boost that the WNBA is currently experiencing. We're going to see how long that lasts, right? We're going to see how long it lasts for them to be getting all of the people that are coming to the games, for the league to have record-breaking attendance and merchandise sales. We're going to see. I personally don't think it's going to last that long. I think it's going to fizzle out, and Caitlin Clark is just going to become just another random WNBA player who is good, but, because she turned off the fan base, the league is going to suffer as a whole. And they're going to go back to being completely and totally irrelevant. And then they'll be boo-hoo-whining and crying about how they're not being paid enough. And then the critics will turn around and say, well, we tried to help you, but you didn't want to listen, right? You wanted it your way. And your way just doesn't work. It hasn't worked since the inception of the league. We tried to change it. We tried to show you the way, but you boo-hoo-whined and cried racism, and you turned the fans off. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.